Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Hope you're having a great day so far. I am thrilled to bring you our Conquer the Contour class tonight. So tonight we're going to be talking all about how to contour. And I don't know what y'all think, but I'm kind of looking at my face right now thinking I look like a ghost. So I'm very excited to contour my face. I feel like I need to add some color back to my face now. And so that's what we're going to be doing tonight. But if you are joining us, we would love it if you would introduce yourself. So just comment below, tell us your name, although Facebook will do that for us. You could tell us who your consultant is, and then also tell us what you like to do for fun, okay? So who you are, who your consultant is, and what you like to do for fun. We would love to get to meet you. Now, in case we haven't met before, my name is Lizzie, and I am my consultant. I am a Mary Kay Beauty consultant. I'm actually a sales director with Mary Kay, which is a really fabulous position that just means that I get to help lots of other people do what I do. It's so much fun. And I also wanted to answer the question, what I do for fun. So what I do for fun, I love to travel. And I also love to play with my dogs. I am a proud dog mom. So what I do for fun is travel and pet dogs. That's what's fun for me. So there you go. Now we've met, and I think it's time to start contouring. You guys, I'm so excited to teach you how to contour. But the very first part of contouring is, of course, knowing your foundation shade, because that is going to be your base, right? So we are going to help you find your foundation shade tonight. But before we jump in, I almost forgot. Let me just let you know, if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. My assistant, she is logged in to Facebook as me, and she'll be answering any questions y'all have. So sometimes when I'm reading your comments, I get a little distracted and I go off on these little rabbit trails. And so to keep that from happening, I'm going to do my best to focus on making sure we get through our material tonight so that we can keep this fast, right? Fast, but still informative. And then she's going to be in the comments answering questions. So feel free to ask away, and one of us will answer you during our live session. Okay, so foundation. This is the very first step to good contouring because you need a base shade, right? So foundation. Now, there's a very easy way for us to figure out your foundation shade, and that is our Foundation Finder quiz. So Mary Kay actually has this really nifty quiz that we can send you. It's just a little link. You open it up, you take a quiz, and it'll tell you what foundation shade you are. And you guys, I have sent this quiz to tons of my clients. I couldn't even tell you how many, tons of them, and it's only ever been wrong once. So most times it is so accurate, and if for whatever reason it is wrong and we do get the wrong shade, we can always swap your foundation out for the right shade for free. So don't be scared of getting the wrong shade. We've got you covered, but I do want you to know that that quiz is very accurate. Okay, so that is the easiest way for us to match your foundation, is just by shooting off the link to that Foundation Finder quiz. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is kind of how you would maybe go about figuring out your foundation shade and what foundation would be best for you. So we do have a few different foundation formulas. We have our CC cream, which is our lightest coverage. We have a mineral that's kind of buildable coverage, okay? And then the one that I am going to show you tonight is our TimeWise 3D foundation. And this is my personal favorite for a full face of makeup, okay? We do have this in a luminous and also a matte formula, so you can pick the formula that's best for you. Okay, now the luminous is going to be more for people with normal to dry skin who want that dewy look. Matte is going to be more for our combo oily girls who want that matte finish. Now this foundation is buildable, so the concept of a buildable foundation is that you really can customize it to how you want your foundation to look and feel. So with this foundation, you can put up to 3 layers on your skin depending on the finish that you want. Now, I will tell you, usually, y'all, I go ahead and I do 2, okay? But that's just me. I like a more full coverage look. So if you like a more full coverage look, you may want to layer your foundation. If you prefer something a little lighter coverage, then one coat might be great. Okay, so that's the beauty of this. You do get to build your own coverage. So those are just kind of a peek at our foundation formulas. Now, the one that I'm going to share with you tonight and the one that our quiz will help you find your shade for is our TimeWise 3D foundation. So this has all of our the age fighting benefits that are in our 3D age minimize complex. So the age fighting ingredients that you would find in our TimeWise 3D skincare can also be found in our TimeWise foundation, which is really pretty cool. To have a foundation that's going to be fighting the signs of aging is pretty impressive. Now, the next thing you'll need to know when you're picking your foundation is what your undertone is. So if you look at the shades of our foundation, you'll notice they have a letter in front of the shade. Okay, so it might be Ivory C110. That is my shade. So you may notice a C, or your shade may have an N or a W. Okay, so you might be Ivory N150 or Ivory W160 or Ivory C110. Okay, so they vary based on your skin's undertone. So the very first thing we're going to do tonight is figure out your undertone. Now, you may already know this, and if you already know your undertone, go ahead and comment below. Tell us what it is, but I'm going to tell you how to figure that out, okay? So the first question you can ask yourself is, when I am in the sun, what happens to my skin? Okay, so if you can go out in the sun for an hour and maybe you're like me, you burn. You turn into a lobster, you get a little red, a little pink, okay? If that's you, comment below, say, I burn, okay? Now, some of you may be different. So when you go out in the sun, you may kind of burn a little bit, but then it turns to a tan, okay? So you don't get like lobster red, you just get a little burn and then it turns into a tan. Maybe you tan a little bit, burn a little bit, but then it turns into a tan. If that's you, comment below, let us know. And then the last category would be you go out into the sun and you turn into a bronze goddess. You are the person we all wish, like the skin we all wish we had when we were in the sun. So if that's you, then comment below and let us know. Now, that question right there is going to help to determine your undertone. So if you're like me, you go out in the sun, you get a little pink, maybe a little red, you burn, okay, then you most likely have a cool or a pink undertone, okay? Cool or a pink undertone. So that means when you're looking for a foundation, you're going to be looking for something with a cool undertone, like Ivory C. The C stands for cool 110, okay? Now, for my cool toned girls, if you are a cool toned girl, comment and let us know if you haven't already. Our cool toned girls, just generally speaking, you're going to look really great in silver jewelry, cool colors like cool jewel tones, and also your perfect red lipstick is going to be that kind of blue-red shade. Okay, something with that cool undertone. Okay, so then there was our second group of girls, and these are the ladies that burn and then tan, okay? So you go out in the sun, and you might burn a little bit, but then you get a nice tan. So those ladies typically have what we would call a neutral or a yellow undertone. Okay, neutral or a yellow undertone. And guess what? This means you can pull off anything. Cool jewelry, awesome. Gold jewelry, awesome. You can pull off cool tones and warm tones, blue-red lipsticks and orange-red lipsticks. You can basically wear it all. Okay, so for you, you're going to be looking for a foundation that has a neutral undertone. So that's going to be something like an Ivory N140. N for neutral. Okay, And then our next group is the ladies. These are the ladies who tan. Okay, you go out in the sun, you get that beautiful bronze glow. So you have a warm or an olive undertone. So if that's you, you have a warm or an olive undertone, then you're going to be looking for a foundation that has that warm undertone. So maybe a foundation like Ivory W160. Okay, W stands for warm. So if you are a warm toned lady, gold jewelry will look fabulous on you. Warm colors like brown, tan, golds, okay? And then maybe more orangey red lipsticks are going to be fabulous on you to really bring out those warm tones, okay? So that's how you figure out your undertone so that you can find the perfect foundation. Now, when you're using foundation, I just want to mention how important it is to start with a foundation primer. I absolutely love our Mary Kay foundation primer. It does have an SPF 15 in it. It's super smooth and it just glides onto your skin to cover lines and wrinkles and pores so that your foundation goes on beautifully smooth, okay? It's going to make your foundation wear longer, last longer. You'll use less because it's just gliding right on top of that primer. Now, I do also want to mention when you are applying your foundation, you can also adjust the coverage of your foundation by adjusting the tool that you use. So, did y'all know that using a different type of brush can give you different coverage with your foundation? So if you are looking for very full coverage foundation, you want something that's going to give you maximum coverage, then our blending brush is going to be perfect for you. This is fabulous if you want a brush that's going to help to cover large pores with your makeup. So that is our blending brush, okay? And this is mine, so you can tell it's a little used, but it's well loved. I love that brush. Okay, if you're looking for something more medium coverage, you want your application to be more medium coverage, we also have our liquid foundation brush. And this brush is also just so soft. Our brush bristles are incredibly soft. They're like little bunnies kissing your cheek. But this is going to be great for applying your foundation with a more medium coverage finish, okay? And then up last is our lightest coverage finish. So if you like a lighter coverage finish with your foundation, then a blending sponge is going to be a great product for you. Now, obviously, this is my well-used, well-loved blending sponge. This is how I apply my makeup every day. I absolutely love my sponge. Now, I do sometimes use like my blending brush maybe under my eyes or with my CC cream when I want a more full coverage look with my lightest coverage foundation. But most days when I'm wearing our Timeless 3D foundation, I apply it with our blending sponge. Okay, so I did want you to know like what tools to use when applying your foundation because it will make a difference in the way the coverage looks, okay? So now we're going to go ahead and jump into contouring. And I'm going to give you guys kind of a easy tutorial today, but I'm also going to show you how you could take this up a notch if you did want to just add a little bit of extra drama to your contour, okay? So we're going to start with like a little guide to teach you how to contour for your face shape. So let me pull this up here. There we go. And this is your guide. Now, this should have been posted on the Facebook page earlier today, so you may have already seen it, but this is going to be your guide for how to contour based on your face shape. So you may not know which shape face you have, and that's okay. You can take a look at this chart, maybe try to decide if you have an oval face, a round face, a square face, a heart-shaped face, or a long face. This is going to determine how and where you apply your contour, your blush, and your highlight. Okay, Now, I do have a heart-shaped face, okay? So I'm going to be following the instructions here for our heart-shaped face. But if you are wanting to do this at home, maybe you're following along with us, then follow along with the contouring for your face shape. Okay? Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started. Now, before I apply my contour, I always like to top my face with our finishing powder. So I just like to go in on top of my foundation that I've already applied. Okay, my foundation's already on in my perfect shade. And I'm just going to take our all-over powder brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and use our finishing powder all over my face. Here we go, just to top my face with a matte powder and set my makeup, okay? So I've used my translucent powder to set my foundation. Now we will move on to our contour, okay? So we had foundation primer, we had foundation, of course, whichever brush or tool you're going to use to apply your foundation. Then I did my translucent powder with my all-over powder brush, and now we're moving on to our contour. So I'm going to be starting with our 3-in-1 cheek brush, and I want you guys to check out this brush. You'll see that this brush has this really great angle here. Y'all, this brush was made for your contouring. So here's how to use this brush best. Now, I like to go ahead and use this bottom side here for my contour, this middle part here for my cheek color, and this top part, kind of the fan part, for my highlight. So this is our 3-in-1 brush, contour, cheek color, highlight. And you guys, this is typically the order they would go on your face as well. Contour, cheek color on top, highlighter on top of that. Okay, so that'll keep it easy for you to remember what part of the brush to use when. So I have my palette here. This is the one I'm going to be using tonight. So this color right here is my contour color. This is my highlight color. And then I brought two of my most popular blushes. Now this one on top is our Shy blush, and it's a shimmer blush. And then on the bottom is a Rosy Nude, and it's a matte blush. These two colors look great on everyone, no matter your skin tone, face shape, age. These two colors are fabulous on everyone. And so that's why I put them in my palette, was I wanted to just give you guys two ideas of cheek colors that would look great on you, but you can pick whatever cheek color you choose. Just if you're not sure, Rosy Nude is a great matte, and Shy Blush is a great shimmer that look fabulous on every shade. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take this bottom part of my brush here, and I'm dipping in to our contour color in Latte. Now that's this one here. We do have a shade that's a smidge darker, okay, and it's called Cocoa, and it's fabulous, but it is too dark for my fair skin, okay? So you would use the one that's right for you. Now you'll see I've gone ahead and applied my contour just right underneath my cheekbone here. Another good way to figure out where to apply your contour is to do the fish face, and then just draw a straight line up. That's where you want your contour to be. Okay, you see how that works? So just a little fish face, and then apply the color there, just right under your cheekbone, okay? Now we always want to keep that color out. We don't want it to come too close to your mouth because we don't want your face to look dirty, okay? We just want it to look contoured. So I've got the contour on my cheeks, and I'm following my chart. Now the next spot you'll see on the chart is my chin. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of contour there. Now with a heart face shape, my chin is one of the most prominent spots on my face, and so that is why we are contouring that area. Okay, contouring is like putting on a pair of black pants, and highlighting is like putting on a pair of white pants. okay? So black is going to like slim or hide, right? Where white is going to draw your attention to. So with our highlighter, we're going to draw attention to areas we want to accentuate. And with our contour, we're going to slim down, or we're going to camouflage the areas that we may not want to accentuate, okay? Now again, I'm going to dip right back into my contour, and I'm going to go right up here to the temples of my face, right by my eyebrows, because that is what the chart says to do, okay? I am just following the chart. Did you guys know that contouring could be as easy as following a chart? Like, does it get any easier than this? It's just kind of like paint by numbers. You just put the color where it says to on the chart. Super easy. Okay, so that is my face contour. Now, another simple way to contour, if maybe you don't want to have the chart, you just want kind of a simple rule of thumb, would be to take your contour and make a 3 down your face, okay? A 3 on the side of your face. That's going to be just your simple rule of thumb, easy contour, okay? Just a little 3 or an E, whichever makes more sense to you. Okay, now I personally like following the chart, but that's just me. So my contour on my face is done, but I still want to contour my nose, which you won't see on this chart, but I am going to show you how to do it. So let's go back to the main camera. Okay, so for a nose contour, I like to take my eye crease brush, which is part of our brush collection, and I like to dip that brush into my contour color, and I just take this right down the side of my nose, and then I blend it out. Now, you can of course use your cheek brush for this, but you're going to need to pinch it so that it's nice and narrow. And sometimes I'm not that effective at making it very narrow, so I like to just use the eye crease brush because it's already straight and it's easy for me to get that straight line, not having to squish down my brush and make it narrow. Now, you want to go ahead and do both sides, okay? You're just making the lines down your nose. And then you also want to hit this bottom part of your nose. And this is going to give your nose a little bit more of a slimmed down look. This is like your 10-second nose job right here is just slimming down your nose with your contour. Now, before we move on to our blush and our highlight, I want to show you a little trick because you may notice everything's not as blended out as I would love for it to be. So what I like to do is I like to take one of our mineral pressed powders and I like to apply all over my face just to kind of blend all of the contour in, okay? Now I do want to make another note. If for whatever reason you don't like the latte color, which is that brown color I'm contouring with, you could always contour with one of our sheer mineral powders. So you can customize your contour shade if maybe the latte isn't your favorite, okay? So you do have choices. Now I'm going to go ahead and just take my powder brush here and I'm going to go ahead and blend everything out with my mineral pressed powder. And this is going to give your contour a little bit more of a natural look to it, okay? A little more natural. Now, we are going to go ahead and move on to our blush next. That's our next step. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Rosy Nude today, which is this one here. It's the matte shade at the bottom. And remember how I said we use that fat part of the brush for our cheek color. So I'm just going to go ahead and dip my brush in. Okay, just like that. You can also tap off any excess if you'd like. And then I'm going to just do a big kind of cheesy grin and I'm going to take my blush back from the apple of my cheek and up. Now another good little rule of thumb is to take 2 fingers, from the outer edge of your nose, and then this is where you start your blush, okay? You don't want your blush to be closer than those 2 fingers from the outer edge to your nose. So that'll also help you figure out exactly where to put your blush. Okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and do the other cheek, of course. And you guys, there's just something about cheek color. Wow. I feel like it pulls everything together, brightens the face. So this is our cheek color. We're adding that right on top of our contour. Now, you can also follow your chart for this. So if you need to know where to put your cheek color, you can follow the chart, but it's pretty much the same for everyone. Now, the next step is our highlighter, and this does change based on your face shape. So I'm going to follow the heart-shaped face, but remember, you can follow whichever face shape you are. So for our heart-shaped face, we're going to apply the highlighter right above our cheek color and in the center of my forehead. So let me show you how I squish my brush. So I go ahead and I squish my brush like this, and then I dip this top part, the fan part, into my highlighter, okay? So just like that. And now you'll see I have quite a bit of highlight there on my brush, and we're gonna go ahead and pull up that chart again. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and apply that glazed highlight right above my cheek color. Now we do have our Honey Glow highlight as well, so you can pick the one that's best for you. I personally love the glazed highlight. It makes me feel like my face looks like a glazed donut. Nice and shiny and fabulous. The Honey Glow has a little bit more color to it, so it's really great for our beige or darker beige or bronze skin tones. Glazed looks good on all beige and all ivory tones, okay? Okay, so that's where you apply your contour, your cheek color, and your highlight. Now this last step I want to show you is one more spot you can apply your highlighter, and that is to the middle of your nose. So again, you can take your fan of your brush and just apply right down the middle of your nose, or you can take your finger, dip it in the highlight, and just hit the bottom of your nose there. Okay, so that's another area you can apply your highlighter. So that is a quick contouring tutorial. You just follow where it says on the chart and you are in good hands. Now I do just want to show you one other way to contour, and I'm not actually going to do this tonight, but I'm going to tell you about it, and that is by getting our concealers. So if you prefer a liquid contour, okay, that's going to be a little bit more dramatic. You can absolutely do a liquid contour with our concealers. So I use our Very Light concealer where I need to brighten. I of course still use my blush, and then I use our darker concealer. So for me that would be the deep beige as my contour color, and so I can still get that contour, highlight, and cheek color look with our concealers. So if you prefer a liquid contour, that option's available for you. But you guys, I would tell you, I think if you're a beginner, it's easiest to start with a powder contour. So I'd encourage you to build your own palette with your 2 favorite cheek colors, your contour and your highlight. Now, before I finish or I wrap up our contouring tutorial, I do want to tell you about our makeup finishing spray. This stuff is gold and it's a must for all foundation looks. So I'm just going to shake it up and then spray in an X motion. Okay, didn't want to eat any of that spray. Okay, so this is our finishing spray, and you guys, this is going to keep your makeup from melting away. It's going to keep your makeup in place all day, okay? So whatever the day has for you, your makeup's gonna stay where you put it. And y'all, I believe this is a must, especially if you are contouring. That means that you probably have a little bit more of an intense makeup look happening, and you want everything to stay where you put it, and our makeup finishing spray is fabulous for that. Okay, now before we say our goodbyes tonight, I do want to give you guys a few special deals. I love a good deal, and I love to share a good deal with you as well. So let me just point out a few of the sets that we used tonight, and then I'll run you guys through your deals. So the first one that I want to draw your attention to is our Prep the Canvas set. That's going to be your foundation primer, your foundation of choice, and remember, we can give you that super easy quiz to figure out your shade, and then also your brush of choice, whether that's the blending brush, the liquid foundation brush, or our blending sponge. Now, the other set I want to point out is, of course, our Flawless Finish set. This is going to be your translucent powder, your finishing spray, and your all-over powder brush. Now, of course, tonight we talked about contouring and highlighting, and so you would need your contour and your highlight from the contour and highlight set. And you can also add our mineral foundation, which is a really fabulous silky powder. And then also you could add maybe your cheek brush to that, so you have your brush to contour and highlight with, or you could add a different foundation brush or a second all-over powder brush. So you have one for your translucent powder and one for your silky mineral powder. So you can customize that set as well. And then I always like to point out our brush collection, because I do believe that everybody needs a good brush collection. Ours is the best. It has your all-over powder brush, your cheek brush, your all-over shadow brush, your crease brush for that nose contour, as well as your eye smudger brush. And they do come in the most adorable clutch to carry your products in. Now, last thing I want to point out is the special deals we have for y'all tonight. So we do have the Princess set. You can choose any 3 sets with our Princess set, and then you can get your brush collection for $25. Wow. Or our Queen set is any 5 sets on the page, and you get a free Pro palette, which is that big palette under the Professional. And then we also have our Cadillac bag, and that's everything on the page. Absolutely everything you see there on the page for $3.99, and you get your makeup remover for free. Now, if you just want to grab one of those sets tonight, you will have the opportunity to get your makeup remover for just $10 instead of $17. So that's a fabulous deal for you as well. So those are our deals for you tonight. The very last deal that we have for you, of course, is our starter kit option. So if you had fun tonight, and you think, you know what, Lizzie, I would love to do this. I would love to save some money and make some money. Then Mary Kay might just be for you. So you may not know this, but as a beauty consultant, we get to buy all of our own personal products at 50% off. So if none of those deals on the sheet were quite good enough for you, maybe you would want to consider getting started for $30 and having the opportunity to save money on your own product, but also make money when you share something you love. You guys, this business is so fun and it's very simple, but you do have to get started. So we would love to welcome you to our family. So that is all we have for you tonight. I hope tonight's tutorial was helpful. You figured out exactly how to contour for your face shape. Feel free to print off that contouring chart, put it in your makeup bag, and follow along in the morning when you contour. Just apply the contour, the cheek color, and the highlight exactly where it says on the card, and you are going to have a perfect contour for your face shape. Thank you guys so much for joining us.